All right, we'll take up file 2022-58495, Brittany Von Brock and Gregory Moon. Mr. Moon is here. This is a date and time set for a show cause. Ms. Heavens here from friend of the court. Ms. Heavens, do you have an update?
I do. Mr. Moon has a monthly support obligation of $227 child support, $19 medical support for a total of $246 a month with $50 ordered on arrears. Currently owes the plaintiff $1,757, the state $152, fees $21, total owing $1,930. That does include June's billing. There have been no payments the life of the case. Billing was effective November of 2022, and there are no prior contempts.
All right, and sir, do you agree that you owe the amount stated?
I thought that that when everything got reevaluated, I didn't realize that I was that far in the hole.
Well, it sounds like it was effective in November. Does that sound right?
I thought because we had I think like a mediation meeting, or I don't remember the exact title of the meeting, but I thought because there were two open cases for the same child, and I thought one of them got thrown away because there were two separate cases.
I don't know. Ms. Heaven, you know anything about that?
I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, we met via Zoom with Brittany.
Yeah.
And there was a stipulated order that I sent via electronic OneSpan for signature, but you did not respond to it. You didn't electronically sign it, nor did you respond to my emails asking you. So that was never entered.
I'll have to go through my emails. I don't.
You have one case billing with Brittany. It's this DS case.
Okay.
So
So the order that didn't get signed, what was that supposed to do?
that reduced it somewhat. Let's see, let me pull that up. I didn't keep a copy of it when I didn't get it back after a period of time. It was supposed to be effective May 1. It would reduce support, $78 child support, $22 ordinary medical for a total of $100 a month.
All right.
Yeah.
So that would be May. So May and June would knock the arrears down a little bit, but still, you would be you'd be behind because support started in November, and you haven't made any payments.
Right.
And that order's not been entered, so.
I'm not really sure what to do from here.
Well, I guess explain why you haven't been making any payments whatsoever. I mean, you knew something was due.
Well, I was working at Magna Mirrors in Newaygo, and I found out later that they weren't taking child support out of my checks.
Okay.
And I know that does fall under my responsibility, and I take accountability for that. I didn't know.
When did you find that out?
It wasn't till I think February or March.
Okay, so then once you were aware of that, why didn't you make any payments after that?
I've been looking for a job. I'm currently unemployed.
So you stopped working at Magna?
Yeah.
Oh, why?
They let me go due to attendance because I don't have a babysitter, and you know, that's my time with my kids.
What were your hours?
3 to 11.
How old are your kids?
My oldest is 6, and my youngest will be 2 in September.
So if you were working 3 to 11, weren't you spending, all day from the time they get up until a little before 3 with them? And then meeting,
No, because they didn't live with me. I only had them on the weekends, and anytime that they scheduled for weekends, my lack of attendance caught up with me.
okay. So you were working 3 to 11 on weekends?
Yeah, it was Monday through Friday, and then weekends were overtime, and
Was the overtime mandatory
yes, sorry,
every weekend?
it was almost every weekend. There were a couple of weekends where they didn't want us to work, but for the most part, it was pretty much every weekend.
Did you explain to them you had visitation every other weekend and,
They don't care.
okay. Did you, talk to Ms. Van Brock about, having parenting time at times when you weren't working?
There, other than on the weekends, there wasn't really.
You're living with the mother of your oldest child, correct? Because we did a stipulated order in March.
Yes, now I'm living with the mother of my oldest.
Okay, so that's been since the beginning of the year, right?
Since about February, I think.
So does she have income?
Yes,
Okay. And her income is sufficient to, make it so that it's not imperative that you're working?
correct.
Okay.
Because
If that's the case, okay, just from my standpoint, that's fine. If she makes enough and you don't have to work, great. But the child support's still gotta be paid. If it's gotta be paid out of her income under that scenario, then so be it. If you're able to not work because she makes enough to cover the household expenses, that doesn't mean this gets neglected.
right, I understand.
Well, I don't know if you do, you've never made a payment. We're talking 6 or 7 months here now.
Right.
If she's not willing to, or if there's not enough to make this payment, then you gotta change it up and you gotta go back to work so that you can make your payments and meet your obligations.
That's what I'm trying to do, sir.
All right. Well, it sounds like you quit a job that enabled you to do that, even though you weren't making payments when you had that job,
I didn't quit. I got fired.
or you got fired. Okay. Well, I mean, you created the situation though that resulted in you being terminated by not going.
Because I needed time with my kids. I'm a father.
Well, I understand that.
And I mean, now
I'm sure there are a lot of fathers that would rather be home with their kids all day long than working, but when you're an adult, you have obligations and you have to sometimes make sacrifices to meet them. Finding contempt for failing to make.
I wouldn't get any time with my kids. I wouldn't be a father at that point. I would be a paycheck.
Okay. Then you find another job that doesn't interfere with your parenting time, and you wait until you have that job before you quit the one that you do have.
I guess I don't understand why I'm even have to pay child support, because me and Brittany have equal parenting time. We have joint everything. I don't.
That's not really why we're here today. To answer that question, support has been set based on the situation that existed back in November, I guess. And
Right.
then it was going to be potentially modified, it sounds like in March, but you didn't return some paperwork, so it never got modified. And now maybe the situation has changed. I don't know. If it has, and your support needs to be updated, then you can file a motion, you can request a review possibly. You and Brittany can make an appointment to talk to Ms. Heaven, to make those changes. But you haven't done that either, okay?
How am I supposed to file a hearing? I can't even afford to pay child support.
There's a fee waiver. If you don't have a job, if you're on assistance, the judge will sign a fee waiver. You don't have to pay the filing fee.
Okay.
Finding contempt though for failing to make the payments that were ordered, sentence of 45 days in jail will be suspended. You don't have to serve it as long as you either start making payments or otherwise address this. You need to start paying in July or file a motion, like I said, or make an appointment.
Okay.
If you fail to address this and fail to make payments, that 45 days would be imposed, a bench warrant would be issued with a $1,000 bond. There's a $100 contempt fine that'll be added to your balance. Other than that, you should be all set.
I understand.
All right.
Thank you.